When we think of our beloved Star Wars, what is the first thing that jumps into your mind? Well, I guess it is Luke. Yeah. No, you're right, Luke. But once we've thought of Luke, the next thing we think of, I'm sure, lightsabers. I mean, they are cool. But after Luke and after lightsabers, the next, Darth Vader. Okay, yeah. No, I mean, you're right. But after Luke and lightsabers and Vader, the next, big ships. Okay. And after big ships, blue milk is, it's good. I mean, I can't argue with the toys. I mean, Salacious Crumb is very much a part of Star Wars. And space is a great feature of Star Wars. Yeah. And anything else? Yes! The panels! The Star Wars panels! The 139th thing that we all love about Star Wars is the panels, the switches, the dirty fingerprints, the blaster marks, the greeblies that you don't really know what they do, but they just look cool. So that's what we're going to make today. I've got a starting point of a 3D print, and I'll put the link to it in the comments below, in the blurb below. And it was completely free on Make a World from this wonderful person. We salute you. So let's go to the painting cupboard where we're going to make that 139th favourite thing about Star Wars, the panel. Let's throw caution to the wind and show no restraint. Anything can happen in the cupboard of paint. Both of these files are from Blck Star on Make a World. The left one obviously is a UK light switch, and it was sat a bit proud, so I had to print off an extra backing piece just to make it sit forward of the light, and just tidying up the print, giving it the usual prime. That was quick, wasn't it? Don't forget to wear a mask when you're priming, because that stuff is nasty. Here I thought I would spray upwards with black and downwards with white. Is it called Zenthal colouring? I don't know, do a bit of pre-shading. And now I'm putting on some rust. The pre-shading was a complete waste of time, as it turned out. And here is my first mistake, using the hairdryer on a 3D print. I should know better. I've been wanting to use this for a while. It's the Vallejo liquid mask. It's a bit thick here, to be honest, but I plump it on. Then I spray over with this sort of bluey grey colour, which feels a bit imperial to me, but either way, that's what I decided to do. When that was dry, with the use of a hairdryer again, oh dear, when I go wrong, I really go wrong. You'll see why later. And then picking off the bits of the mask to reveal the rust colour that I sprayed underneath. And it's far too clumpy, so I went back and look, second camera angle. Went back and just sort of filled in a little bit, painted over some of the rust a bit more. And here I'm just giving that central piece a bit more black, a bit of a black colour, and now just playing around. But look, here's the problem. Look, it's warped with the heat. What an idiot. I should have known that really, but I didn't, so I printed it again, but this time I separated the top pieces and then put the other top piece back on the file. So I cut the file so that I could have these pieces separate, put the other piece back on, that central piece, which means it's just a lot easier to spray everything in different colours as so. And you can see there I've got really some nice set of colours there. I've masked off, and now when I put them back on, it looks a bit more interesting, and it was so easy to do. So I think in future I'd be looking to do something similar. Obviously I've got to blend it all in, but at this point I took apart an old Toshiba laptop. I mean, literally a geriatric laptop. I've just been sat around not knowing what to do with it, looking for some greeblies, and found some other washers and bits and pieces. So here I'm just cutting that original disc that came with the print, and on top of some washers. Ooh, that looks a bit like one of those, astromech interfaces. And then I used the other pieces to create a sort of second layer behind it. Let's get in there and have a look. There we go. So not quite aligned, so there's still gaps that go through. This is a little bit of the speaker from the laptop, and a piece of printing support from the, like a bit of waste from the 3D print.
So I stuck those together onto one of the pieces, sprayed a whole bunch of stuff black. I ummed and ahed about whether I should spray this lovely brass piece black, but I figured I'd spray it black and I could always rub off the bits to expose the metalwork again. So now just sort of choosing what goes where. I'd covered that because I changed the whole colour to be slightly darker. This is 1mm styrene. I'll put the link to it from a lovely company in the UK. Not expensive at all, like a couple of quid for a sheet. So I used those for the buttons, and here then I've drilled a couple of holes for the screws, but also for some wiring just to give it an extra dimension, I suppose. Rubbing away with a bit of wire wool on the metal work pieces just to expose a little bit of that metal again, so we've got a bit of variety and texture. Now just darkening it with the classic acrylic black and water. A bit more water in some places than others, so gave it a good old hefty coat and then dabbing some of it off again. Same process here, dab dab dab, dab dab dab, and that's what the acrylic pieces look like when they're in. I've stuck them in now, and now just sort of darkening them down. So I was imagining sort of dirt and dirty fingers, human fingers, alien fingers pushing those buttons. One day soon I will do some LED work, but I just don't feel like tackling it at the moment, so I'm just using those acrylics, and I think they look fine as a non-functioning light button. They're quite shiny. And there I just use my finger just to make sure the bit in the middle is clean. And then I thought I should really make the outside, the edges, metal, so I went round, including around this black piece, just making that nice and shiny. But actually it was a little bit too shiny, so afterwards in a minute you'll see me darken it down again with a bit of mucky wash just to blend it all in. Just doing a bit of detail work here with a metallic pen, just putting some patterns on there, doing a little bit of chipping, so just getting in there, putting a bit of extra silver paint just to make it look like it is a bit chipped and worn. Yeah, have a look at Smuggler's Room. He does a really good example of that, so if you want to look at some more chipping stuff, I recommend taking a look at some of Smuggler's Room's videos. There we are.
The panel. There it is. Ooh, quite pleased with how it turned out again. One day I'm going to do one of these bits and go, yeah, it's a bit shit, isn't it? But this is quite pleasing, I think. So yeah, quite happy with that. Particularly like this astromechy, like whatever that is, port, if that's indeed what that is. I've mounted it on the wall at about astromech height, so should one come rolling by, they can interface and do what they need to do. I'll show you a little clip of it, what it looks like in situ. You can see here I've done a very short video because the room's a mess, and also I'm going to do the light switch above with a functional panel, so that will be coming at some point soon, and when I've got those two pieces together, then I'll do a more comprehensive look at what it looks like in the room and how it sort of sets off the room. Here's the one that I ruined. Big apologies to Blck Star, that's Blck Star without the A, on MakerWorld, who put this thing up for free. It is a brilliant STL, so go take a look at that. I'll put the link in the description below. Not his fault or their fault that I bodged it, my own incompetence, but this will be a really good start point. I think it's best if you do add your own bits. I think it makes it look sort of super cool and gives it some extra layers, or you could just make the whole thing work from here. Also, I'm always standing on the shoulder of giants, so big shout out to the Smuggler's Room. If you haven't found them on YouTube, what are you doing with your life? And also Rebel Base Builds in the UK. Big shout out there for it. Lots of inspiration and cool stuff. And Props and Villainy. So if you haven't got a 3D printer and you want to make one of these, Props and Villainy show you that it's perfectly possible using XPS foam, I think. So lots of ways to skin that particular cat. Hope you enjoyed this build. If you've tried it, let me know how it went. Let me know what you thought in the comments. It would be great if you liked the video. Just hit the little smash the like button, guys. And if you haven't subscribed, give me an early Christmas present. Come on. Subscribe me up. All right. Until next time, look after yourselves, live long, and force be with you.